A lot of us don't realize that the Prophet ﷺ was in amazing shape, mashallah. In Imam at-Tirmidhi's book, he's actually described as having his chest and his stomach in a straight line. This means that he didn't have a protruding belly like most average Muslim brothers who you see around these days. The Prophet ﷺ's chest was broad, his shoulders were broad, and his calves were perfectly shaped. There are also many narrations of the Prophet ﷺ, even in his 50s, being able to do incredible feats of strength. For instance, there was a wrestler at the time, Rukana, who nobody could beat. He was famous for being the strongest wrestler of that time. And the Prophet ﷺ was able to beat him in wrestling. And Rukana immediately converted to Islam because he knew that strength had to have come from Allah. So your strength can be a form of da'wah. But not only had Allah given the Prophet ﷺ superhuman strength, but imagine how the Sahaba and the Prophet ﷺ must have trained because they had to go fight all these battles. Khalid ibn al-Walid was famous for saying, "When I'm in the battlefield, I love it more than my wedding night, even with the most beautiful of women." There were many examples of the Sahaba and the Sahabiyat being physically fit and strong. And I really wish I knew this when I was younger, because I could have looked up to the Prophet ﷺ from a younger age. And I think it's so important that the youth and adults, all of us of all ages, look up to the Prophet ﷺ and don't look up to contemporary figures. Because if we're looking for a role model, the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba and the Sahabiyat are the best of role models. That's why Allah gave us these amazing examples of the best of character, the best of creation. The Salaf as-Salihin, the righteous predecessors. Of course, once a young man realizes this, he can easily look up to the warrior, the superhero, the superhuman strength. But even in our 40s and 50s, we should look up to the example of the Prophet ﷺ. So many men think that they've just expired by their 40s and 50s. Many women feel this way as well. But your life is just beginning. So we gotta be able to keep ourselves in good shape. And if we follow the Sunnah, it's very, very easy to do this because it's all laid out for us in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Islam applies to all areas of our life. Of course, our ibadah, also our health, in every single area of business, family, everything. So I ask Allah to help us to be like the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba, where we're in amazing shape, physically, mentally, spiritually, even into old age. And may Allah continue to give us strength and success. And if you need help implementing the right fitness strategies that are based on the Sunnah, as well as elevating your deen and maybe getting some accountability around different Islamic habits that you're trying to implement because you want to become a better Muslim, comment M3 below to learn about the Modern Muslim Man Method, which is the ultimate coaching program for fat loss, lifestyle, everything to become the best, strongest, fittest, healthiest Muslim that you could possibly be, inshallah.